Good morning, dear students. How are you all? Okay, I hope everyone is fine. I hope everyone is doing good. Today we are going to study a new lesson, page 31 of your English Mohar reader. Okay, so I want all of you to turn to page 31. And the name of our story, the name of our lesson is The Apple Tree. Alright, lesson 4, The Apple Tree. The Apple Tree from Aesop's Fables by Brishti Bandyopadhyay. Alright, so today we are going to study a new lesson called The Apple Tree, and it is taken from Aesop's Fables. Alright, Aesop's Fables are they are a collection of short stories, okay, and these stories, Aesop's Fables, they have good morals, okay. What do you mean by morals? Morals are basically principles which concerns with right or wrong behavior. The stories that teaches you how to be a good person, okay. That's the stories that teaches you good or bad, basically so that you will follow the right path, okay. So Aesop's Fables are very famous short stories, and The Apple Tree is taken from Aesop's Fables, okay. So in the last class I had given you some spellings, isn't it? Yes, and I had also given the word meanings of those spellings for reference. Did you all study the spellings? Okay, so I am going to read the lesson and I will explain it, and I want all of you to point it with your fingers as we go along, okay? Alright, so now let's start. There was once an old apple tree in a farmer's garden. Okay, there was once an old apple tree in a farmer's garden. What do you mean by farmer? Do you all know who a farmer is? Yes, a farmer is a person who owns or who has a farm. Okay, so this farmer, the farmer in this story, he has a garden, isn't it? You all know what is a garden, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so what is there in the garden? There is an old apple tree in the garden, isn't it? There was once an old apple tree in a farmer's garden. It could not bear fruit anymore. It could not bear fruit anymore. What do you mean? It could not bear fruit anymore. Now let's see. It could not bear fruit anymore. It means the tree was very old, and so there were no apples growing on it. Okay, so this apple tree, the apple tree in the farmer's garden, it was very old, okay. It was a very old apple tree, and apples could not grow in the tree anymore, alright. It could not bear fruit anymore. But a large number of grasshoppers, squirrels, sparrows, and other small birds and insects lived in the tree. Okay, so in this apple tree, in this old apple tree, apples could not grow in this tree anymore, isn't it? But there are a large number of grasshoppers, squirrels, sparrows, and other small birds and insects living in the tree, okay? So can you see in this picture, there are squirrels, isn't it? Butterflies, birds, isn't it? Yes, there are many types of animals living in the animals and insects living in the tree, alright? Okay, let's proceed. One day, the farmer decided to cut down the tree. Okay, so the farmer, he decided to cut down the tree. The tree has become useless, but I can make some tables and chairs with the wood, he thought. Okay, so the farmer thought to himself, alright, I must go and cut down the tree, he said to himself, okay, because Why does the farmer want to cut down the tree? Because the tree has become useless, isn't it? Useless. What do you mean by useless? When you don't want something anymore, isn't it? When it has no use to you anymore, isn't it? Yes. So the tree has become useless. But I can make some tables and chairs with the wood. So the farmer thought to himself, okay, this tree is very old and it has become very useless. So I must cut it down, he thought to himself, okay. And then I will make tables and chairs with the wood, okay. He took a sharp axe and struck at the roots of the tree. So what did the farmer do? He took a sharp axe. What do you mean by axe? Axe, it's a tool. It is a tool used for chopping woods. Okay, axe is a tool used for chopping down woods. All right. So he took a sharp axe and struck at the roots of the tree. What do you mean by struck at? Struck at. Hit with a lot of force, isn't it? So he took he took a sharp axe and he hit the tree. He hit the tree, all right? He struck at the roots of the tree. He hit the roots of the tree with a huge force, with a large force, okay? So what happened? At once, the birds and animals in the tree came out of their holes and nests. So what happened? When the farmer struck the roots of the tree, all at once, the birds and animals came out of their holes and nests. All right. Please save this tree, they begged the farmer. It's our only home, they cried. Okay, so now what happened? All the animals and birds, they started coming out of the tree, isn't it? And all of them, they begged the farmer. They begged. What do you mean by begged? Asked many times, isn't it? They asked the farmer many times, okay, please save this tree. It's our only home. All right. So they cried and they asked the farmer many times not to cut down the tree because it's their only home, isn't it? Do you feel sorry for the birds and animals? Yes, very sad for them, isn't it? Now, supposing if someone comes and destroy your house, you would be sad, isn't it? Yes. So just like that, even the animals and the birds, they became very sad and they cried, okay? They started crying and they asked the farmer many times not to cut down the tree. Please save this tree, they begged the farmer. It's our only home, they cried. Okay, so turn to page. So what happened? But the farmer only struck harder at the roots. Now the farmer, he does not want to listen to the animals and the birds, okay? So instead, he started hitting harder and harder at the roots of the tree, all right? We will sing to you as you work, said the sparrows. That will make you happy, said the squirrels. Okay, so what did the sparrows tell the farmer? We will sing to you as you work, isn't it? And what did the squirrels say? That will make you happy. They told the farmer that they will sing to him as he worked and that will make him happy, isn't it? But the farmer did not listen to them. He went on striking at the tree, harder and harder. He was in a hurry. He wanted to chop down the tree before noon. Okay, so what happened? The farmer did not want to listen to the animals and the birds, isn't it? He went on striking at the tree, harder and harder. He kept chopping down the tree harder and harder. Okay, he was in a hurry. He wanted to chop down the tree before noon. He wanted to cut down the tree before noon, isn't it? Yes. As the farmer raised his axe one more time, he saw something in the hollow of the tree. It was a beehive. Okay, now what happens in the story? As the farmer raised his axe one more time, he saw something in the hollow of the tree. What do you mean by hollow? Hollow means a hole, an empty space, isn't it? A hole or an empty space. Okay, so in the tree, what happens? The farmer saw something in the hollow of the tree. Can you see this? Yes, this is the hollow of the tree. Okay, so he saw something inside. All right, what did he see? It was a beehive, isn't it? It was a beehive. Now, what is a beehive? A house made by bees in which they live, lay eggs and keep honey. Have you ever seen a beehive? I think you must have seen a beehive, isn't it? Beehive is where bees live, okay? And they lay their eggs inside the beehive and they used to produce honey, isn't it? Okay, so the farmer saw a beehive inside the hollow of the tree, okay? So turn to page. He looked closer. It was full of honey. He tasted the honey. Okay, as the farmer looked closer, the beehive was full of honey. Okay, the beehive was full of honey. He tasted the honey. Okay, so he ate the honey. It tastes so sweet, he said. So the farmer ate the honey, and the honey tastes very sweet, isn't it? Yes. So said the farmer, the tree is not useless after all. If I take some honey now, the bees will make more. They won't go away from their home. Okay, now the farmer, he thought to himself, okay, so said the farmer, okay, so he said to himself, the tree is not useless after all. Now, why did he say to himself the tree is not useless after all? Because the tree, inside the hollow of the tree, there was a beehive, isn't it? And inside the beehive, the bees were making honey, isn't it? So the farmer tasted the honey, and then it tastes so sweet, isn't it? Now the farmer likes the honey, so he does not want to chop down the tree anymore. So what did he say to himself? If I take some honey now, the bees will make more. They won't go away from their home. Okay, so the farmer said to himself, if I take some honey, the bees will make more and more, isn't it? And they won't go away from their home. Okay. Listen, he said to the birds and animals. I shall not cut down this tree. It is your home. You can live in peace now. And he threw away his axe. So the farmer said to the animals, okay, listen, I shall not cut down this tree. It is your home. Okay, so he told the birds and animals, okay, now I shall not cut down this tree. It is your home. You can live in peace now. What do you mean by live in peace? Be happy. Have no fear or worry. Okay, to live in peace means you are very happy and you have nothing to worry about. Okay, you have nothing to be afraid of. All right, so he told the birds and the animals, this is your home. You can live in peace. You can be happy now. You have nothing to worry about. Okay, so what happened? And he threw away his axe. Okay, he threw away his axe. The farmer isn't a kind man, said the grasshoppers, squirrels and sparrows. He wants the tree because there is honey in the beehive. But they shouted in joy. Their homes were safe. Okay, so now what did the grasshoppers, the squirrels and the sparrows, what did they say? The farmer isn't a kind man, isn't it? Yes. Earlier, what happens? The farmer wanted to cut down the tree because he wanted to make chairs and tables out of the wood, isn't it? And when all the animals and the birds, when they were crying, and when they told the farmer not to cut down the tree, he did not want to listen to them, isn't it? So he kept cutting down the tree, isn't it? Yes. And as soon as he saw the beehive inside the hollow of the tree, there was honey, isn't it? And he tasted the honey, and the honey tasted really good. It tastes so sweet, isn't it? So now he wants to keep the honey. And if he cuts down the tree, the beehive will not be there anymore, isn't it? So the farmer will not have honey anymore, isn't it? So that's the reason why he does not want to cut down the tree. Not because he wants to help the animals or anything like that. It was because he himself, he tasted the honey and he liked the honey so much, which is why he wants to keep the tree, isn't it? So do you think the farmer is a kind man? No, isn't it? The farmer is not a kind man, isn't it? He does not want to help the animals and birds to keep their home, isn't it? Just because he liked the honey so much, that's why he decided to keep the tree, isn't it? So I don't think the farmer is a kind man. Right? Okay. The farmer isn't a kind man, said the grasshoppers, squirrels and sparrows. He wants the tree because there is honey in the beehive. But they shouted in joy. Their homes were safe. Okay, so the animals, even though they knew that the farmer kept the tree only because of the honey, still they were happy, isn't it? They were happy because their homes were safe, isn't it? And now they can live in peace. So they all shouted in joy because their homes were safe. Okay, so do you enjoy the story? Yes. Now supposing if you see a tree where lots of animals and birds are living in the tree, would you want to cut down the tree? No, I don't think so. Yes, because you all are very kind, isn't it? You are kind to the animals and the birds, and you would not want to hurt them, isn't it? But the farmer in this story, he is not like that. He is not a very kind man, isn't it? Yes. So that's the story, and I hope all of you have enjoyed the story. Now I want all of you to read it again, okay? You must practice reading. Point it with your fingers, alright? And all of you, I want you to read the story at home from the beginning again, okay? Alright, so that's it. Have a good day, everyone. Okay, bye-bye.